Hello students, welcome to this 7th class of the Strategic Management Unit. We are in the 7th class, so in the second half of the course. As you know, in the previous class, we did an overview of all the content of all the course. And on this second half, we are going to speak about several strategic management techniques. And we are going to make another review on the day previous of the final exam, the Monday, the 4th. Well, on the next class, hopefully, we are going to speak about internalization of companies, and we are going to have a different class. We are going to have a special speaker, a guest speaker, who's going to speak us about how is to live abroad and how multinational companies work. So I think it's going to be a different class and a very interesting class as well. Well, as you know, we are living tough times. I don't know if you are confined in your homes. I really hope that if you are confined, this time is not being useless and you are taking advantage of this course and other things. And I really hope that this coronavirus election teach us something, okay? Well, we're gonna start about speaking about several strategic management techniques within the company. As you know, we have spoken about the macro environment, about the micro environment, about competitors, about market, but now we are gonna focus on the company itself, on the firm, and we are gonna speak about a couple of strategic management techniques. We are gonna speak during this video, this first video of the 7th class, about the Porter's generic strategies. You have to remember Porter's from the Porter's 5 force mode analysis. This is a guru of strategic management. And in order to explain the generic strategies, we are gonna start by explaining the meaning of strategic business unit. As you remember, we already spoke about strategic business unit in class 1. Strategic business unit could be defined as a part of an organization for which there is a distinctive external market of goods or services that is different from another strategic business unit. So all different things that a company is able to do. You can see here a couple of examples. For example, the business units of ACS is software, e-cloud, hardware, and so on, and the business unit of P&G, baby and family care, beauty, family care, and so on. So we have to be clear on the concept of a strategic business unit in order to explain the Porter's generic strategies. And here you have a couple of premises of assumptions of the strategic business units. This strategic business unit supplies goods or services for a distinct domain of activity. A small business unit has only a small business has only just one strategic business unit. You have to think on small and medium companies that only perform one activity, so those companies just have one business unit. Another premise is that a large diversified corporation is made of a multiple business units. You have to think on Apple, you have here the example. You have to think on Sony or in thousands of companies. Another assumption, strategic business unit can be called divisions or profit centers, and strategic business units can be identified by market-based criteria, for example, to having similar customers, similar channels of distribution, similar competitors, and so on, or capabilities-based criteria, similar strategic capabilities. Here you have, for example, the strategic business unit of Apple. I think this is a quite old-fashioned picture because it speaks out iPod and so on. But it's useful for us to understand that every large companies have several strategic business as they have diversified its businesses. And here you can find a brief video explaining the Porter's generic strategies.
In order to be successful and make a profit in a competitive market, every organization needs a clear strategy. But how do you decide on the best strategy for your business? Should you offer a unique product or service, or the cheapest price? Should you focus on a niche market instead of a broad one? The decision you make will impact every aspect of your organization, so it's important to get it right. Porter's generic strategies can help you to make the best choice for your organization. Michael Porter identifies 3 strategies for achieving competitive edge in his book, Competitive Advantage: Creating and Sustaining Superior Performance. These are cost leadership strategy, differentiation strategy, and focus strategy. Cost leadership strategy focuses on increasing profits by reducing operating costs and charging lower prices. To implement this strategy successfully, you will need to be able to invest in new technology and have efficient logistics. You must also make sure that your spending on items such as labor, materials, and facilities is kept low. It's essential that you beat your competitors on cost, so you'll need to continually monitor and reduce your costs. The differentiation strategy focuses on making your product or service attractive and unique in comparison to those of your competitors. For example, you might specialize in a particular feature or unique service, be renowned for your excellent customer service, or have a highly valued brand image. You will need to be creative and innovative and be able to provide high-quality products or services for this strategy to work. Sales and marketing also play a vital role in this strategy's success, and you'll need to make sure that you stay ahead of new trends in your industry. The focus strategy concentrates on developing products or services for a niche market. Using this strategy requires a deep understanding of your customers' needs. Your aim will be to meet these needs by providing that special something extra that customers can't get anywhere else. You'll also need to decide whether to adopt cost leadership or differentiation. This is because the focus strategy is not normally enough to win substantial market share on its own. Choosing the right strategy for your organization is crucial to gaining a competitive edge over your rivals. By using Porter's generic strategies model, you'll be able to identify the strategy that you need to lead your organization to success. You can find out more about Porter's generic strategies, including a step-by-step guide to using them, in the article that accompanies this video.
So, as we have seen, our strategic business unit strategies shall consist on cost leadership, on differentiation, or on focus strategies. We are going to explain a couple of features of each of the 3 strategies: cost leadership, differentiation, and focus strategies on the next slide. We are going to start the Porter generic strategies by speaking about the cost leadership strategy. Well, the cost leader strategy, as you may imagine, involves becoming the lowest cost organization in a domain of activity. The lowest cost organization, or one of the lowest cost. Okay? 4 key cost drivers that can help you to deliver such cost leadership is, for example, lower input cost, economies of scale, experience, and product process design. When we speak about product input cost, we are speaking about the purchasing department of the company. You have to be aware that a lot of times, maybe the most important department of different companies is the purchase department, as if they are able to buy at low prices, you are going to be able to sell in a very, very low price as well. So it's very important to know your suppliers, to have bargaining power as we saw, and to have lower input cost. Another important thing is the economies of scale. As you know, it's not the same to buy 100 items than 1,000 items. The price is not going to be the same, and you have to be able to implement economies of scale in your company. And if you do not have the volume to such economies of scale, you have to be able to join with several competitors in order to buy and access to such economies of scale. Another important point is experience. Of course, it's not the same a new competitor on the market that a competitor that has been 50 years and already know the suppliers and how can they reduce cost. And finally, the product and process design, which is a very important driver that can help you to implement a cost leadership strategy. We're going to see a couple of examples of cost leadership strategies on the next slide. One example of a cost leadership strategy we can find on Ryanair. Ryanair is an European airline which is very famous because it's a low-cost business model. For example, in the case of Ryanair, there are single passenger class, so you do not have a first class. You can pay an additional fee if you want to sit on the wings, on the seats close to the wings or something, but the important is that there is just a single passenger class. Usually there is just a single type of aircraft, so they just have one type of plane. There are no recycling seats and no rear pockets. This is very important. There is a simple price scheme. For example, early reservation is the lowest price in theory, and it has ancillary revenue. They are selling permanently to you staffs. This is a very controversial airline. He, for example, launched the vertical seating message. So in order to make us standing up on the airplanes, on the aircraft, I think just with marketing purposes. For example, he launched the message of that were going to charge us to go into the bathroom $1. Well, it's a very controversial airline, but one of the things that you cannot discuss is that it's a leader within the airlines group. Here you can see a chart of the Europe's top 20 airline groups by passenger numbers in 2019. As you can see, Ryanair is the leader of the European Union airline groups, and following by Lufthansa. So it's a very controversial model, a very controversial business model, but you cannot discuss that it's a very accurate and very precise cost leadership strategy. Another very important generic strategy is the differentiation strategy. As you remember, in a couple of classes ago, we spoke about the Harley Davidson model. Of course, the clients of Harley Davidson are not worried about paying a price premium for their motorcycles because all things that having a Harley involves. Okay, well, differentiation strategy plays with that kind of roles. Differentiation involves uniqueness along some dimension that is sufficiently valued by customers to allow a price premium. Here you can have a Rolex, for example. There are two key issues on the differentiation strategy model. And first of all, you have to focus on the strategic customer, on those customers on whose needs the differentiation is based. So you have to analyze their taste and their preferences. And finally, you have to focus as well on the key competitors, not just who are their current rivals, and as well who may become a rival. And the final Porter's generic strategy is the focus strategies. A focus strategy targets a narrow segment and tailors its products or services to the needs of that segment to the exclusion of others. So it's the opposite way of the two previous models, which were focused on the general public. In this case, the focus strategy, we have to focus on our concrete segment so that we can analyze them and to perform a tailor-made product or services. There are two types of focus strategy. The cost focus strategy, for example, we have seen that there is a gap in one specific cost space within the mapping group, and we focus on such cost strategy. And the other focus strategy is the differentiation focus strategy. For a segment that is looking, for example, for a huge luxury, you can find here the example of a Rolls Royce. Successful focus strategies depend on at least three of these key factors. First of all, distinct segment needs. You have to remember the video that we saw about the market segmentation of McDonald's. In this case, you have to perform a market segmentation as well in order to know which are the preferences of your customers. The second key factor is the distinct segment value chains, and the final one, viable segment economics. Here you can find a theory of Porter who states that the best option is to choose one of the three strategies, one of the three generic strategies, and follow such strategy 100%. For example, if you choose differentiation quality focus, and you have to follow such strategy 100%. If you focus the generic strategy based on cost leadership, you have to focus on such cost leadership 100%. And if you focus on the niche market on focus strategies, you have to focus 100% on such generic strategy. According to Porter, if you do not follow 100% such kind of generic strategy, you are gonna be stuck in the middle. According to Porter, this is the worst place to be, in the middle of the triangle. So according to Porter, failure to lead one of the three generic strategies is a danger of being stuck in the middle, and it implies doing no strategy well. And we're gonna finish by speaking about such stuck in the middle argument, which is a very controversial argument, and even Porter acknowledged that the strategies can be combined. For example, according to Porter, you can combine such different strategies in different business units, but it's a controversy argument because sometimes you can combine those strategies and you are going to be successful, but it's very weird cases, and you have to be leader in every different level strategies. You can see here the chart: cost leadership, differentiation, focus cost leadership, and focus differentiation. And for example, we have the case of IKEA. IKEA is a low-cost model, but as well it's a differentiation model because their furniture are quite different. So we can state that stuck in the middle could be the general rule, but in some cases, if you are a leader in several of those level strategies, you can be in the middle and not be stuck in the middle. And we are going to finish with a couple of conclusions of the Porter's generic strategies model. Of course, it's very important to identify the strategic business units within companies. You cannot state concrete strategy unless you have defined which are used business units in your company. Then another one is that generic strategies model helps to analyze business strategy in terms of generic strategies of cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. So according to Porter, as you remember, it's a controversial argument, but as a general rule, we can state that the best strategy is to choose which generic strategy to adopt, cost leadership, differentiation, or focus, and then follow such strategy 100%. If you do not follow such strategy rigorously, you can fail, and that failure could lead to a danger of being stuck in the middle, doing that strategy well. Thank you, students. I'll see you on next video.